We're live. We're live?
For
real?
Yeah,
We're live. Oh shoot. Okay, so wow, the music, is the music playing? Yeah, it's playing. Just wait a minute. You don't have to be all crazy about it. Okay. Yeah. So these are my lines? Yeah, those are your lines, bro. Alright, cool. I got it. Here we go. Alright, we're fading out in 3, 2. Greetings, everybody. This is Tim Airwalker, and I want to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, no matter what time it is for you. I'm hoping that you are having a good time. Yeah. If not, then have a good time with me. Ooh, yeah. And I really appreciate you just taking some time out of your day to be here. I seriously appreciate it, and I am glad to see your beautiful faces yet again. Let's go. I'm so excited every single time that I get to talk about something I love with the people who support me. So I decided to keep everything absolutely free and open to the public. Let me know in the comments if this information has added value to your life, or if you have any questions. I'm going to try my absolute best spanking attempt to get to them. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you could support my Patreon, it's linked down below. So, what is this? What are you listening to right now? This is called an Airwalk Talks, my good fellow. And this is a podcast where I take time out of my day to explain in excruciating detail how I create a 2-minute video of me yelling at myself. And that is what an AWT, an Airwalk Talks, is. All right, so today I will be talking to you about a little skit called standardized testing. Let's go. I'm going to talk about the idea and where it came from and what influenced it, how I wrote it, shot it, and edited it. Yes. So without further ado, standardized testing. Man, this skit was something I was kind of avoiding because the setting is in school, and I feel like school is so relatable. It's probably oversaturated by other skits and other comedy sketches and just stories in general. So I didn't want to add to that oversaturation. I wanted to be more original. But this one I could not pass up because I just felt like this situation was too relatable. And that's when you're like taking a test and you're allowed to eat a snack after test. And here in Texas, we have standardized testing, which essentially means like the entire state's like, yeah, you're smart, and yeah, you're dumb. It's really dumb, and I really tried to send a message here in this skit about how I felt about standardized testing, and I feel like the school system could definitely do something better. So there was a message there. So it definitely had underlying meanings, and I felt like it was a very relatable topic. I could say that other influences are just other people like Caleb City, Lennar, and Long Beach Griffey, who all just make their skits. Ooh, Hard Stop Lucas is a really big one. And all of these people, they've made like some fat influences on this video. That setting of school, I figured out like by watching their videos how I could suspend my audience's disbelief and turn essentially an empty bedroom into a classroom. Boom, bam, bap. We are in it. We're talking about the writing of standardized testing. This one, I didn't start it off with internal, external, with the location. Everything was going to be in that class. I didn't even write down if the school bell was gonna ring. But we start off with the teacher, and he's like, okay, class, typically we spend the entire day learning something useful, but the state of Texas wants to judge us all based on a single test. And this is me just trying to send a message. And he continues, I'm required to read this prompt. This standardized test is completely useful and will most certainly help students somehow in the future. Any student that finishes early may place their booklet face down on the desk and may eat their snack quietly. So this second paragraph, I'm using satire or irony or sarcasm. I feel like all of those work. And at the end, I'm using foreshadowing by saying, you may eat your snacks quietly. Then we have a close-up of feet and bag. This time around, I am writing a little bit more of like the camera framing because I wanted to show like some shot variation so people don't get bored. Like I mentioned already, the classroom stereotype is already oversaturated. I'm pretty sure I've even seen SNL do stuff like this. So I really wanted to just switch things up and really make it my style and show my perspective from the classroom setting. Continuing on, we have flip over his test and he like looks around. This is the main character. And then the teacher's chilling and he reaches down for a snack in his backpack. It makes a creak or like like the seat moving. And then he pulls out a snack and then a loud crunch. So it's like and then the teacher's still reading as though he doesn't hear anything. Then the main character puts a snack on the desk. Then I told myself, tree falling. This script is really bare bones. I didn't really want to write a whole lot for this one. I didn't think this skit was going to take that long. But then we have, after the tree falling sound effect, he puts the snacks in his mouth and then it's like a pistol. And then he chews, and then the gun fires, like, and then he looks around. The teacher's still chilling, and then student 2 is, like, pretending to get shot, essentially. And then the teacher's still chilling, and then student 1 finally says a single word, which is sorry. The teacher clears his throat at student 1 at that point. He's like, I'm going to call your mama and stuff like that. And student 1... I just wrote much disappoint, and then it cuts to black. This is a very bare bones script, but it did what it needed to do. All right, let's talk about shooting this one. Okay, for shooting this skit, I just started with the bell ringing and just had different shots of all of the students walking up. Well, 2 of the students walking up and a teacher up front. I put the main character in the center of the frame to like really just guide the audience's eye to make sure that, okay, we're really focused on the main character and we are also really focused on the teacher, and it's really that transaction between those 2. I tried to act a little bit more bored, because I was still trying to ridicule the standardized testing. Then I show a completely different character. This is like a tertiary character. This is like actor 3, which I hadn't written into the script, but he was there, and we just have a few more cutbacks. And then I cut in closer for the teacher because he's just talking, and then I wanted to build a little bit more of the character development for the tertiary character, the actor 3, which was in a yellow shirt, and he starts falling asleep more. And then we have actor 2 with his leg propped up, and we cut back to the main character, and the teacher's trying to be a little bit more funny, trying to joke around a little bit. At that point, he prompts everyone to begin, and I actually used the same packet for everybody, so I wasn't just multiplying myself, I was multiplying that packet as well, which helped because standardized testing, all the tests they're gonna look the same. And I compressed time by having actor 1 already finish his thing after showing all 3 students have started their test. Then I closed up, a very cinematic close-up of the pencil as he puts it down. And then I did some more close-ups. Like the script kind of like communicated to me that I needed a lot of close-ups for this particular skit because I wanted to make it a little bit more cinematic. And then we have actor 2 in the corner. Just he kind of notices that actor 1 is opening, like grabbing his snack, and then actor 3 was actually sleeping, and when he opened it, it woke actor 3 up, and then actor 2 getting essentially shot from actor 1 just by him eating a snack. And the actor 3, the one who was sleeping, is just like a witness to all of this. At this point, the main character says, "I'm sorry." The teacher notices and he's just like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I was just trying to eat a snack." I left the second character just, laying there in the corner, and the teacher's pretty much oblivious to him. Everything in this skit is very bare bones, and this is a very weird one to talk about. Okay, so we are blasting through this. I've already talked about the project, the idea, the influences, the writing, and the shooting. Let's go on ahead and talk about the editing. And I feel like the editing is probably one of the more important parts here. This is where, since every other aspect of this project has been bare bones, I think the editing was going to take a heavier load, and therefore it was going to require more effort, more creativity, and just more work overall. Okay, for editing, I wanted to signify that this was a school, so sound effects were going to be very important. They're going to play a crucial role in this skit. So I had the school bells ringing, and I had the main character sitting down. Everything's still establishing shots because I'm establishing all of these different characters sitting down, and they have the packet in front of them and whatnot. And we still have this wide shot of the teacher. Then we close up a little bit on the main character with the table kind of being at the bottom of the frame. From here, I wanted to just establish that we are in this classroom, then we are teaching. Well, he was supposed to be teaching, and all of that gets obstructed by standardized testing. From here, there was a part where the main character looked to his left, and there is another character over there, and I wanted to make sure that these two characters kind of looked at each other, even though I didn't really plan that. Once I did that, it felt like these were different characters and they were all in the same space. And it also pretty much I created that space in the edit, because if I actually looked where I was looking, if the main character actually looked where he was looking, he would not have actually been able to see the yellow shirted character, actor 3. From here, all the shots still kind of remain the same, except for the shot of the teacher, but he's still very wide. We're not too personal with anyone yet, and everyone gets almost about the same amount of screen time, except aside from the teacher because he had to make that spiel. Then I match cut with the pencil being put down, and then I match cut yet again with the backpack as main character leans down to grab his snack. Then I cut to a reaction shot of the second character in the left corner, and I go back to the snacks because the snacks are essentially their own character. I really wanted them to be almost over dramatized, and that would really give them personality. And then I cut into a really close up of my face, then an even more extreme close up of my mouth as I'm eating the snack, and then the second character gets shot a little bit, and this is where I had to add in all of these sound effects, and those sound effects were so crucial. I'll keep saying it because that's how crucial it was in this skit. Without sound effects, everything probably would have felt mad Akko Taco. That being said, Like if you've seen any of those like movies like Star Wars or Inception, where they're like, yeah, this is that scene with music, and now this is the scene without music. And you're like, whoa, this is really awkward. That's essentially what these sound effects were. They helped carry that story along, and that they were an integral part of the over dramatization of this scenario. From there, I zoomed in post to the teacher because I felt like this wide shot just didn't do it justice, and cutting in, well, it just felt a little too abrupt for the situation because of how chill he was with his legs propped up, just reading a book. So I decided to keyframe a zoom there, and then we slowly, kind of, or medium speed, zoom in to the teacher just to further emphasize to the audience that he is unaware of the escapades that are happening within his classroom in that very moment. Then I cut in post to the second character who's getting shot by the sounds of the snacks. It was originally a wider shot, but I just cut it in a little bit closer because I didn't want any like shot repetition. I wanted to change it up a little bit. And then we have the conversation between the main character and the teacher. From that point, I go back to the second character with the bucket hat who is getting shot. I go back to him, and he is in the corner laying there, but this was still kind of a wide shot because I guess whenever I was shooting it, I didn't think it was going to be too important to get a close-up of not the main character. But in post, I felt like he needed some more attention. So I also did a keyframe zoom into that character. So yeah, from that point, we just cut back to the main character getting up. He's just like, okay. And this is a very close ending to Bless You, where he was just like, okay, fair enough. And then the other character was like, yeah. And then you just end off the skit right there because the entire scenarios, or like all of the escapades, are essentially over. They're done. But yeah, that's it. Today did not feel like I had too much to talk about. It felt like the right amount. Let me know if this felt a little short to you, because it definitely felt very short to me. But yeah, that was standardized testing. I talked about the idea, the influences, how I wrote it, how I shot it, and how I did the editing. Thank you so much for being here. And as long as I can add value to your life, I'm pretty sure I'm doing something right, you know what I'm saying? So never hesitate to just comment below all your thought process, or if you think I could do something better, or if I can change some things up. And without further ado, I cannot wait until this next Airwalk Talks, and I will catch you on the flip side. Keep it breezy.
Know you tryna